Hello everyone. Recently I went to the Kansas City Retro Gaming A-Games Swap and Shop. Got a little bit of footage. It was a really windy day. I didn't get a lot of footage, basically. The wind was so bad. Everything I had kept flying everywhere. It was hard to manage, so I recorded what I could. I turned the sound off. I'm just gonna do a voiceover over the whole video, but specifically because there was just so much wind. But yeah, I was at the front and the back side of the parking lot of A-Game in Independence, Missouri. I hope there's another one in the future. And yeah, Retro Tony was there. We did a big old trade. I'll be showing off what I got, but I won't show specifically the trade that I got with Retro Tony because I try to keep stuff in order. And we will just start with these DVDs. I didn't want to start with games because I got a few hodgepodge things first. So yeah, I got Goosebumps Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns, which had a few other things on the DVD and a fun little insert. They had like a game on something and then tips about going out on Halloween on another side. And then there was Say Cheese and Die. I was super excited to find this from a fellow who was wearing a Goosebumps hoodie. And then, yeah, it has the sequel, Say Cheese and Die again, on the back. Next up, we got these things. Oh boy, I was so excited to find these. The fella had a huge, well, not a huge, this is all of them that he had, but they were only 25 cents each. So, you know, I have a lot of loose NES cards. Well, not a lot, maybe like 10 to 15. And here's one interesting thing I found in these third-party ones. They had instructions, like this one was game instructions for Aladdin. This was game instructions for Gauntlet 2. As well as Out of This World for the Super Nintendo. And then the other ones were official Nintendo branded cases. Pretty proud of those. And here's one funny thing I saw. Somebody who previously owned this had Mega Man 2 in it, but they put Megan Man. I laughed out loud. It's too funny. Next up, a couple of other little hodgepodge things. I only got one Sega item and one Atari item. The paddles I needed for my favorite game on Atari, Kaboom. Shout out to Kaboom. And then I got Jurassic Park for Sega CD. The front case was smashed, but luckily I had some brand new cases that are like this, these long box cases. I can put the link in the description of where you buy these from. The only thing that was still okay was the gray spindle part, so I swapped that in so that I had the official disc logo on there, the CD logo. And yeah, you saw how scratched the CD was. It's not, I mean, I can get it reserviced, but obviously I don't have a Sega CD. It's just, I just love Jurassic Park so much. Next up, we got the 3-pack. I had the one that just had Mario and Duck Hunt on it, but I've never had the one with world-class track meet on it, so I was pretty happy to get that. I don't know if there's any screw variations, but this one only has 3. And then I got my, oh boy, the thing I've been looking for forever. I have both of these games separate, but to have them on one cart, oh, the cart has a little bit of schmutz on it, but to have it on one cart is what I've been looking for forever. And next up in this list of apparently Nintendo cartridges and Nintendo games, I should say, is Tony Hawk Pro Skater and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 for Nintendo 64. I'm trying to get every Tony Hawk game for every system that Tony Hawk came out on, including the N-Gage. I believe there's a Tony Hawk on N-Gage anyhow. I never owned any boxed Game Boy game of any kind. So Ready to Rumble was there, and the guy made me a deal with another game bundled together, so I took it. I can't imagine it's a fantastic game. I do find it pretty funny that the cartridge vibrates. It literally rumbles while you play. And the only downside of this box, I mean, it's a little beat up, but the only real downside is the fact that there's no cardboard game insert in it. And I really don't know how that would work out with the thicker cartridge. But, you know, if you have Ready to Rumble for the Game Boy Color boxed, you know, I'd like to see a picture of how it's in the box. I don't think this is the original AAA battery, by the way, but because it's covered in Asian characters. But whoever used it last, the battery still hasn't leaked, so I will probably just take that out before I store it on my shelf for good. Maybe I'll put it in like a shadow box or something, the whole thing. And a boxed Tetris. The flippy flaps are not the greatest, but again, I don't have any boxed NES games. And while I already own Tetris and it's a great game, I couldn't turn down this purpley Easter colored box. It's just so grand. And of course it naturally has the instruction booklet inside. But, you know, who doesn't know how to play Tetris at this point anyhow? Maybe if you first got it and you'd never heard of Tetris before back in the day, a little quick walkthrough might be helpful. All right, next up, more Nintendo games. So yeah, again, trying to get every Tony Hawk game on every system, and GameCube is one of those systems. Not a massive fan of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, but I was really happy to see that it has the Nintendo GameCube insert, as well as the complete manual. And if I remember correctly recording this, there's no scratches on the disc, like at all. Yeah, I don't think this game was very played, if I'm being honest. Get that out of the way. And yeah, Super Monkey Ball. Shout out to Retro Wolf 88, Matt. I've seen people play Super Monkey Ball all over the place. I have the one for the remake for the Switch of Banana Blitz, but I don't have any other Super Monkey Ball game. And I saw it and I just went ahead and got it. So thanks to Matt, and if you haven't played Super Monkey Ball yet, would you just get off your high horse and play it already? Thank you. Yeesh. Oh, and there's no scratches on that one either. Pretty proud, so far so good. And I believe the last Nintendo anything that I got, now that we're doing all this in chronological order, is House of the Dead Overkill. What does that say? See things you've never imagined. They covered up as Winky. Anywho, yeah, there's no manual in it. There's the insert that came with the game, so that's kind of a bummer. And obviously the game has a family video sticker on it, so that shows very much where this game came from and kind of explains why there's no manual. Next up, I got this for free. It was sitting on top of PlayStation 1. I asked the guy like how much, could I just buy the Game Shark on its own. Version 2.3. And he's like, I'll just give it to you. I said, okay. This is one of the games that Retro Tony, that I bought from Retro Tony, not part of the deal that I was talking about previously. It was listed at 15. I knew that was high, but I don't know what he had bought it for, so maybe he was just trying to make some profit. Maybe he got it at 10, was trying to sell it at 15. I was like, hey, let me do it at 10. He's like, okay, but only if you know songs that are on it. I'm like, I don't remember off the top of my head because Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 on the PlayStation 4 changed things, and I don't remember exactly what's on what soundtracks. So, but he still gave it to me for $10. Siphon Filter 2 also came from Retro Tony. It was part of the deal that I got. I played Siphon Filter a lot as a kid. I sold them off and I rebought them, and yeah, Siphon Filter 3 as well. There's a small crack on the back. These double cases, especially ones like this that are a double case but only hold one disc, that don't have a spindle there or there, only a spindle on the back, are really very incredibly difficult to come by. So I'm just gonna leave it as it is and not even bother replacing the back panel or anything. It's not gonna get any more cracked on my shelf. And to follow the Siphon Filter mantra, as it were, I got Siphon Filter for PSP. And if you guys couldn't tell already, we're onto the PlayStation games. I was trying to remember to say that before, I'm sorry. The UMD has no scratches, which is a surprise. Also, the UMD cases break sometimes because people pull the UMDs out the wrong way, and that one still was functional. And we have my copy of Katamari Damasi that I bought. This is the one that I bundled with Ready to Rumble. And I remember so distinctly when I was younger, the day that this came out, I was in I guess it was still EB Games at the time, and I said, what's good, what's cheap? And the guy's like, well, this game just came out today and it sells for $20 brand new. I was like, what? Okay, I'll take it. And ever since then, ever since I sold it off as an idiot kid, I wanted it back. I played it on the Switch, of course. And we have now reached the PlayStation 3, Eternal Sonata. I played the heck out of this, but I never finished it. It's a very long game, at least to me, unless I was just like at the edge of finishing it and I didn't realize it. But ADHD, you know, like I just couldn't hold on anymore. But at some point, I didn't get rid of it. I let somebody else keep it and said like, hey, since we were playing together, you just keep going. And that was the last I heard of that, so I had to buy it again. And now we are on to the final topic, Xbox games. This is Toe Jam and Earl 3. Surprisingly, it is actually missing the first page of the manual. I'm not going to beat myself up too much over it. It's kind of a bummer. The other bummer is that it has a fair amount of scratches on it. But that's easy enough to solve. Pay a $3 resurfacing fee. I also picked up Ghost Recon 2. I need to get a new case for it. There's a little bit of plastic missing on the back. I swapped some cases around to give this the lesser quality case, but I still want to make certain that it has a good case for the shelf for the collection. I definitely like the fact that I was able to find a handful of these Xbox games for $1 to $5, somewhere in there, so not too bad. Enclave was a rental, but definitely I'm going to get it a green box because it deserves a real box. And whatever this scratchy material is, it's like some like weird dimpled material on the top. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, since they wrote on it with Sharpie, nothing takes it off because nothing can get down in those dimples for me to be able to scrub it away. Like, sure, alcohol does, but you can't get inside those little micro dimples. This is another one I'm excited about. Star Wars Episode 3. Don't have any idea if the game's good or not, but it mentions on the front that there's a comic inside from Dark Horse. And looky there, it actually came with it. I was very surprised. I didn't even think about it or know about it at the time. I didn't pay attention. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, another $1 game. Cool, I'll get that. No big deal. Yeah, I was pretty pumped. And Namco Museum. This is just, I mean, anytime you have a compilation game, just get it. Even if only one of the games is good, you just put yourself in a situation where you can then experiment with other games. Maybe you get further than you would have, you know, at an arcade or when you were younger. So, yeah, and you can tell this thing, like, it's got a little bit of schmutz on it, but, you know, once you clean that away, it's going to play right as rain. Number 6, Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. I played this I would say that maybe I got to like the 50% mark when I was younger, and then I stopped playing that. I think I played it maybe on the PlayStation 2, but, you know, if you're going to get a game that was on every console in that generation, you should just get it for the Xbox. I mean, I can't seem to find a single game that exists on the Xbox as well as somewhere else that doesn't just play better or look better on the Xbox, and some of them have extra features like custom soundtracks and stuff. But, you know, you don't want to overwrite the music in this game. It's just too good. Listen to it. I don't think it has custom soundtracks anyway. I didn't check the back. Somebody in the comments tell me. I'm too lazy. And lastly, Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow. I think it's the last one anyway. Yeah, I had the other two Splinter Cell games. Splinter Cell and Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow. I think I have a few couple copies of Splinter Cell. The first one that can help you soft mod an Xbox. But yeah, now I have that trilogy. If there's more outside of those 3 games on the original Xbox, somebody let me know. And now let's just close this out with me putting some Nintendo games in some Nintendo boxes. And you know what, you guys, you have a good day. You want to know why? Because you've earned it. Like always, you keep being good.